Greetings, everyone. Tim Anderson here, aka Renville, and welcome to the latest episode of Monday Musings, where I talk about life, games, books, all the things going on with us, and Project Ramen stuff as well. I'm actually playing Star Wars: The Old Republic this morning a little bit in the background, doing some crafting, so every once in a while you might hear some weird background stuff, but that's what that is. Let's dive in. So, this past week, let's see here. Chris and I just watched Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now, I had been kind of holding off on this series because not all the movies are out, and it's yeah, I'm just I've gotten older, I'm like, I really hate waiting because you forget things that come out between the movies. So I try to wait till things are done. I'm the same way with books. I don't like to read book series anymore unless they've already all been published. I don't have time to wait for people like Patrick Rothfuss or George R. R. Martin to take 10 years in between novels to write me something new. Fuck that. If it's not done, I don't want to watch it. So we'd have been holding off. But it happened to be on our Netflix, and it was, big thing of, last day to watch, October 3rd. For our Netflix, and I was like, because Netflix in Mexico is slightly different than Netflix US, so I was like, we should just go ahead and watch this. We did, and oh my god, that movie blew us away. Like we were both just at the end going, that was amazing. Like we need to watch the second one now, and of course the third one's not even out yet. And there was the controversy of Johnny Depp being asked to resign from the second after the second film, so he's not in the third film, and Mads Mikkelsen is taking his place. So they're recasting a major character for the third movie, but the third movie just had an announcement, I want to say last week or the week before, about its release date. So it's done. It's just getting ready to be released. So anyway, that first movie, very, very good. And I did not know that that's actually J.K. Rowling's debut as a screenplay writer, because I thought it was based on another book series that she had written. And I was just like, yeah, it's cool. I'll read it one day eventually. But it's not a book series. It's just a movie series that she's writing. Um, let me see here. This is Grade 1, Scavenger's Compound, Send Companion. Um, but it's an actual movie series that she's creating from scratch in the same wizarding world as Harry Potter, obviously. But good movie. Highly recommend it. What's next on my list? I am almost done with Well of Ascension, the second book in the Mistborn series. I had a binge reading session yesterday. I sat down at like 5:30 and I read until about 8:30. So I put in a good 3 hours yesterday, and I plowed through like chapters 34 all the way to chapter 50, something like that. And I think I've got like another 10 chapters or so to wrap this book up. Um, I'm going to be maybe doing that today, sometime this week. So I will probably have a review up for Well of Ascension by the end of the week. Second book, not as good as the first book. I'm not giving this one a 5 star when I do my review on Goodreads. It'll be like probably a 4 star review, 3.54. There's some things I didn't like in it. There's way too much filler content. He gets really existential about religions and stuff, and there's some stuff in there that I just didn't particularly care for. Um, anyway, but I'll talk about that later. It's still a very good book. His fight scenes, here's the other issue I have with it. His fight scenes are good, but I'm starting to feel like R.A. Salvatore, in the sense that there are huge chunks of this book, and I mean huge chunks, that are dedicated to these fight scenes. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm just like flipping. I'm just skim reading because I could care less. It's when it's 15 pages of combat. Sorry, I'm not really into that. A few pages I could get, but when you've got these fight scenes that take up a whole chapter, it kind of tends to. That's a personal thing. So anyway, Well of Ascension, almost done with that. Very, very good. Um, let's see. Star Wars: The Old Republic. So my brother sprung this on me last week. He was just like, "Hey, I want to play Star Wars: The Old Republic for our winter gaming session," and I said, "Cool," because we always play something in the winter for 4 or 5 months. Usually we don't start till later in the year, though, or I feel like we've never started until like November. And he sends me this text message, and I'm like, cool, that sounds good. That'll be the game that we, let's see here, that'll be the game that we play, this winter, and I'll look forward to that. And then he sends me some screenshots of his characters because he logged in, and the next morning, and he's sending me all these screenshots of his characters and talking about these things. And then, like 2 hours after that, I get this text message where it's like, I may have already subbed. And I was like, wait a minute, I thought we were, when are we starting? He's like, next week, man. So apparently, this week, we are starting our um, winter gaming sessions, and we'll be playing. I think for now we're gonna be playing one time a week. Maybe we usually play 2 times a week, but we also have a lot of other things going on this year, so I don't know if we're gonna play more than once a week. But as soon as I know what night we're gonna be playing, I will announce that to our community. And we will, if anybody wants to join us, they can. We are on the Satil Shan server for anybody who's out there who might want to be joining us. I think we're going to probably be playing Wednesday nights, probably. We talked about it briefly last week because we typically meet up on Wednesday nights anyway to do our Project Drama meetups and talk about things that need to be done, what we did the past week, if there's any things we need to talk about. And I think we're just going to roll into Star Wars: Old Republic on those nights after we're done meeting and play for like an hour and a half until we're tired. Because we usually meet like around 8:30. And so we figured we'd play from like 8:30 to 10, somewhere around in there. 8:30 to 10, 9 to 10:30, something like that Central Time. So if anybody's out there that wants to join us, feel free to ping us. It's a Tio Shan server, probably playing on Wednesday nights. Um, if you want to get a character, we're not rushing. We're starting from scratch with the base game because we like to go through the storylines we haven't seen before. We're on the Imperial side this time. He's playing a mercenary bounty hunter, the dual wielding bounty hunter, and I'm playing an Imperial agent. So, yeah, if anyone wants to join us, there's room for people. We could do some flashpoints and stuff like that. Role play, hang out, and I'll probably be streaming those sessions once we figure out what nights we're actually playing. Because we've been playing the last few days, we've been sneaking and meeting up at like 5:36 in the morning because we're both up drinking coffee, and both of us tend to do that in the mornings. That's what we do in the mornings is drink coffee and play video games. And so we've been doing some impromptu meetings as well in the mornings. But the official sessions are supposed to start this week at some point. All right, let's set you up for that. What else is on my list here after Star Wars Republic? New World drops this week. I do have it pre-ordered. I was planning on playing this a couple nights a week in between Final Fantasy 14 and stuff, but now that my brother wants to play Star Wars Republic, I may only be playing New World like once a week or something. I don't think I'm going to be joining a guild. There's an alliance. I was originally thinking I might join Simmerk's community, but they're playing Covenant, which I really don't want to play, and they actually have a sort of a guild structure set up that's going to be focused on PvP, and you need to be fairly active and all this other stuff, and I don't have the time to commit to a guild structure. I just don't, and I'm also I don't play MMORPGs like that anymore. And then the other side of that is I don't really like the Covenant. However, I loved the Syndicate, and it looks like Nathan Napalm and Pantheon Plus guys are putting together a Syndicate thing that's much more loose and less restrictive. And I may join them since I like the Syndicate, but I don't know because I don't know how often I'm going to be playing that game. But I am going to be playing it. I enjoyed the closed beta. Um, I'm really interested in seeing if there's more to the story because that was the one thing I found lacking. And I did a review on it, and I'll do it up. But I did a review on the closed beta. I will do a review on the game at some point in the next few weeks as I get into it. I'm still plugging away on Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous, but honestly, I've been really busy with tabletop stuff the last week or so, a couple weeks actually. So I haven't had a lot of time to play, and I'm also trying to read more than I used to. So I'm actually not playing nearly as much. I used to play every single day for 2-3 hours, and now I'm maybe playing 3 to 4 days a week and trying to read 2 to 3 days a week as well, and trying to balance that out. So you have to make sacrifices, and yeah. Um, let's see.
Made out all right.
Let's see here. Next on the schedule is D&D.
Should keep me entertained.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to be doing D&D. This is unexpected, by the way. This came about as a result of meeting with some of the people who are going to be joining us, who had expressed interest in joining us next year for the Project Dram and Tabletop, like the official campaign that we were planning on starting like around March of next year and doing, for at least a year, if not longer. We don't have an end date in mind. Um, and when we started to talk to those folks, um, starting to get together a rough idea of what that would look like. Who do we need to recruit? Get some more people on board to get the demographics that we want and everything else. Um, the discussion was brought up that um, maybe we should do an official D&D campaign module because it doesn't require any work. Because a lot of the people, including my wife, a lot of the people are new to fifth edition, and I'm still learning fifth edition. And my wife's never played, and we were talking. So we've got Simmer's going to be on board, and Nathan Napalm has both said they want to join us. Nathan's pretty familiar with fifth edition, but Simmer is not, and so we had between him, my wife, and myself, it was like we're all kind of new to fifth edition. So Nathan had suggested, why don't we do this D&D campaign? And I was like, that's a really good idea. And also it will help us find people who want to be there and who are going to be able to commit weekly and who want to join it, and then we can kind of see who these people are over the next few months and get the camaraderie going and everything else. And also it gives everybody a chance to work out the kinks in whatever system we're going to be using, which is probably going to be Fantasy Grounds. But we're all going to be learning that on top of fifth edition. So it was like, well, why don't we just make it simple and do the very first campaign module from fifth edition, which is Lost Mine of Fandolver. I believe that's the very first adventure. And so that's what we decided we're going to do. So that's going to be I did an announcement video today, so you can watch that for more details. But it's basically late October, early November. My wife's trying to organize a trip to visit her family right now in October for a few weeks. And assuming that takes place, the intent would be when she gets back from that is when we would kick off the adventure. And we're just going to run through the Lost Mine of Fandolver, which will probably take us about 3 months, doing once a week sessions on Sunday nights. So if you want to know more information about that and you might maybe want to join, we're looking for some more adventurers to join us for that adventure over the fall slash holiday season. Let's see here. What else is on my agenda? Along with work on the module this past week, I did a lot of work on, well, it's just module work, lots of module work. And also I got chapter 6 published this past week, along with artwork from Chris. Looking forward to getting chapters 7 and 8 written. I'm pretty sure it is going to be a 10 to 12 chapters for the prologue. We're kind of past the halfway point now, and I've kind of have an end goal in mind, and so I kind of know what I need to finish, and it's going to be 10 to 12 chapters. I also just might take if I get to 10 chapters and I feel like that's kind of enough, what I might do is take whatever's left and sprinkle it into the other chapters here and there, and just kind of flesh those chapters out a little bit more, which would be part of the revision process anyway, long term. But I'm still playing with that. But yeah, we're gonna do that, and assuming that Chris goes on her trip in October, the 2 chapters that get published in October, which will be chapter 7 and chapter 8, will not have any artwork when they get published because she won't be here. And then when she gets back, she will be looking at that. And then we're still keeping an eye out for artists who want to do character art for the tabletop stuff. I've put out some feelers. If I don't find anybody, it's really easy. Just go to Fiverr and you find somebody and you just pay them 50, 75 bucks a pop or whatever it is, and they'll do some decent artwork for you for character art. So worst case scenario, if I don't find anybody that wants to work with us long term, because it is hard to find people who want to commit to a project, then I'll just go to Fiverr and just do gig work for people, because that's an easy solution. So we'll figure that out. But we are moving ahead with tabletop work. I did a good chunk of part 2 last night. My day job is picking up considerably right now and into October because we got a bunch of new stuff happening. And because of that, let's see here. I don't have as much time to work on the tabletop stuff during the week, so I've had to relegate most of that to the weekends. So I'm basically finishing one part per week. and there's going to be 6 parts. So it's going to be about 6 weeks worth of work, is what I'm assuming, to get the core of that draft done. And then the rest of it will be filling it with artwork, adding in tables, fleshing out additional details, background, NPC tables, all this other stuff. So there's a good, like I said, I was anticipating all of the rest of September and all of October to get that done. It'll probably be into November, and we'll see. And then the objective is to try to get all of this stuff into rough draft format by the end of the year, so that January and February I'm in polish mode, and additional details for the source book and the module, and then we'll have everything ready for sale. March or April of next year would be the objective, around the same time that we're kicking off the actual campaign, um, with our tabletop adventurers. So that's that objective. And on the point and click adventure game front, um, Joey got me the second. I can't remember what day it was, Wednesday or Thursday. I'd have to look at Discord. Got me the second QA build. It was fantastic. Very smooth run. I was able to get through it very quickly. There were really not any major bugs. There were a couple of more hiccups that popped up because of things that had to be tweaked to fix the first bugs, which caused some additional bugs. But instead of having 3 pages of polish fixes and bug things, this time there was, I think it's only 10 or 11 items, and half of those are polish items, which was just, let's tweak this here, tweak this here, tweak this here. So it's very close to being done in terms of the demo, and he's really looking forward to that, because once he finishes that, the next step will just be adding polish, you know, enhancing the interiors, enhancing the lighting, adding in the sound effects, and just polish, 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 polish. Um, and then for people who are paying attention and want to know, we're still planning on it's going to be mid to late October when we do the reveal for everything. Really, what we'll probably do is like a week or two before we're going to launch this D&D campaign is when we're going to drop all the new channels and new websites and everything else. And once that happens, we will then be streaming our D&D adventures on the new Twitch channel, porting those over to YouTube. We'll be launching a game trailer for the demo. We'll be launching the demo. We'll be doing all these things. So that's all coming in probably late October. So stick around for all that. In any case, that's going to be it for today's episode. Uh, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon if you haven't already done so. Join us in Discord if you want to hang out with us there. And stay tuned, because the next episode in Mondays and MMORPGs is coming today, which is the first episode of the 4th season, and I'm actually going to be doing these ones a little bit differently for now, which we've talked about in the past. There's an announcement in the Discord channel as well, so tune in for that this afternoon as well. Until next time, stay safe.